All right, so I'm going to get started with some Substance Painter stuff tonight. The first thing I want to do, though, is let's go ahead and fix up oh yeah. Filling edge, that's the one that I want. Also gonna put the glow into emissive color. And then when that fills up, yeah, it's a little more pronounced. I actually think I might just want the color in here. You see how that looks. Yeah, I think that looks better. Oh yeah, it has to be. There we go. So let's go ahead and get Substance Painter open. I need to mess around with this texture a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. I honestly think this just needs to be like the base rock. Yeah, that actually looks kind of cool. Re-import these. Oh, that's why. Where's... Go ahead and re-import that. There we go. And see, this dark ring is a little dark. Okay. Yo.
What up?
What's going on?
Oh, you know, just squeezing in some extra work at the end of my long workday.
Yay.
So, is there any issue with making a capture zone into a blueprint?
Yes.
The issue is that it doesn't work or that they are not usable.
They are not usable for a reason I think is might be easily solved. Do you have my do you have my stream open?
Mm-mm. I can, no. See,
Yeah,
open.
I'll open up a map and show you what the problem is, and it might be an easy fix.
Didn't you say it was something to do with a brush?
Yes.
Do we have any volumes that do work properly as blueprints?
Let me check. I think changing it from being a brush to a box collision would be the real solution for it, but because that's if I want to add basically a volume, I add a box collision and set it to overlap pawn, and that's how you typically do it. So, and I've read online about this, and for some reason, declaring a brush in C++, there's just things wrong with it in Blueprint. But maybe you could just give it, just let me show you what happens, and it'll all make sense, maybe.
It definitely won't, but I'll try. Okay, so brush component's the issue?
Yes, but something specific with it. Hold on, let me turn off push to talk, because I need my control key. Okay. Do you see my stream?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one that's placed with the C++ instance, and under the brush component, there's these brush settings. It's set to polygons and 256, 256, 200, and then it's scaled from there, and there's the brush. So if I go to content browser and I do a blueprint class, scroll capture volume, okay, so I open this and compile, and it yells not valid data. So I go to brush component. Under brush shape, it says none. If I pick any of these, it'll crash. And then the other thing that can happen, if I place one in the level, I'll just place one. I go to brush component. And where did the thing go? So I can pick like cube builder. It gives me a box, but there's actually never an actual box. So even though it has a size, it doesn't ever scale or show the box or anything. I can't find it anywhere. It's not at the origin. So as far as I know, brush component doesn't work. So maybe that could be redefined as a what are they called?
Wait, isn't the shrine a blueprint? Oh, the shrine volume is not a totem.
Right. So I have volume like behavior and like the falling trees, because the box component, I have a pane volume that's on the falling side that crushes stuff, and it's a box collision instead that's just set to overlap. So
Well, if you've built all of that in the editor, then it's going to have everything that it needs. I'm just trying to find one of the ones that exists in code that is blueprinted, but I don't know that there is any.
yeah, I don't think we're using a box component anywhere. Destructibles have a collision component that's a capsule collision versus a box collision, which is essentially the same thing.
Well, let me stop you. There, one's a volume and one's not. So a volume is I'm subclassing volume.
Right, and from Unreal's perspective, it sees box component is a brush component that is basically a BSP shape, whereas the other one is locked in. One fix for this may be giving this a default shape that matches the place one to make sure that it's
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm like I said, I'm in the middle of searching for. Well, I'm in the middle of building, and once that's done, I'll just manually set up the brush in the constructor, and it should be fine.
So if that doesn't work, you could change this to a box collision because it has the exact same events. Because is it doing in code? Is it doing all the checks on begin overlap anyway?
No, it's on actor entered volume.
Oh, that's why it's different. Because there's not an on enter volume for box collision, or is there?
I mean, it doesn't have to be. It's component begin overlap. It would be the same. It's arbitrary. I feel like I'm sure there is a specific difference between the two, but effectively for what I need, I think on begin, because on begin overlap passes in an actor, and I know we use on begin overlap for other stuff.
Because does the existing volume, when you touch it, does it also touch the scroll, or does it just touch pawn and see if the pawn possesses a scroll to like check for captures?
It calls capture scroll on whatever actor. If the actor casts to, well, the actor gets cast to a Hanako character, and then it calls capture scroll on it, and then capture scroll calls gets curl like the class itself, the character class. Hanako character has a function called capture scrolls that does the work.
Okay. So I'm gonna hold onto that blueprint in case I need to like build after you submit something later if you need to.
Yeah, it's a physics volume, by the way.
Okay. It seems like just some weird editor thing. It also seems like a bug that probably got fixed in like UE425 or one of those.
Wait, can you just pull a physics? Can you just drop a physics volume in the map right now? Is that, I mean, blueprintable? Can you blueprint a physics volume?
Oh, I believe that I can. I'll try. Let's see. Looks like I can't. That's strange.
Okay, so if the
So hold on, let me see what because this has to have so a physics volume. No, there's no component list. A bounding volume. Okay. It does have a default brush shape. I think that the brush shape is probably the thing.
Yeah, I'll just find real quick.
Do you want to see the tree placements that I added to this map while I have it open?
I mean, aren't you going to show me anyway?
Yeah, let's do it. So since you're here and I'm here, so the triangle center one's still the same. You only attack this one. I made it a little higher health since you have 3 trees that could crush people. There's one here that falls across this way. It blocks this path and Hanako access to the bridge area from this side. There's an equivalent one over here for the Yamai to block that side path. I put one on each side of the bridge so you can block the center path, which this one's particularly trolly because everyone runs through this, which is why I put it there. And then this one's still the same too.
You know, honestly, the pathing could be accomplished. Well, okay, yeah, never mind.
So I really, because I know the bases are moving up, and the Hanako base is going to roughly be kind of in this area. Putting one down here, I'm not confident in that placement still making sense after those changes. Same for the Yamai base, it's going to move up to around here. So I thought about having one, you know, around here somewhere, but it decided to leave it out until. But I think the center ones for this map will be way more fun.
Did they get used much?
They did, but almost everyone said they wish they could attack them from the beginning and they weren't assigned to teams.
Well, that's what Connor said.
Yeah, they're like, we wish we could just like kill these whenever because it seems like there's some mutual advantage and disadvantage. So it'd be cool if they were just there. So it's like, well, we'll try that next week. So the Yamai ones, the first two are the existing ones that block the central Torii Gate path. There's one here that blocks across this Yamai path. There's one here that's kind of similar for a Hanako side path. That's 4 of them. And then the last one is on this side path here leading to the base this way, which this one will become more important during the restructure of the base because I'm basically going to carve a path through here as there's going to be 3 entrances to the base and they're going to cut through this part. And then on the other side, they're also like either this stairway will actually open and feed to the base, so this might not be as important later. I also really considered having one that like fell on a Torii Gate that you could like run up and over, but since it plays an actor sequence, I don't actually have control over like how much it falls. I'd have to make a tree that's specifically animated to stop falling at that angle. Or maybe I could write something to like find a certain frame that's the amount of fall that I want and just stop there. But the shortcut potential was thought about, especially for this map. I thought about putting one that would fall like right on this grapple point so like everyone could use this tree path. I thought that might be cool. But anyway, that's where they're at for now. I try to be as balanced as possible with them. And it was pretty fun to have bots run around and kill them, cut one down as they pass by and crush a bunch of them.
You know, it's peculiar to follow along to the stream while you're talking to me. So then I have to like unmute the stream and ignore you while the video part is playing. So wait, what did he just say? Hold on. Oh, okay. That's what he meant. Not words. Crap. All right. So you say they fall. They're. It's an actor sequence, so it's not physics, right?
It is not. It's essentially an actor cinematic.
Is physics too expensive? Wait, physics is expensive. Duh.
I'm glad you worked yourself through that.
I feel like you were going to answer me poorly. If I might be able to knit box extent, maybe.
Is it easier for me to talk on Discord or mute myself on Discord and you listen through stream?
I mean, if you're trying to show me something, then it's easier. So here's the thing.
I can also mute stream too.
Well, the problem is the video does. So your voice when we're using Discord is, very low latency. But when I'm watching the stream, the video is delayed probably like a second or two. So if you're talking through Discord and the video's going, and you're trying to explain something on that you're streaming, then I do not really. There's a delay there that kind of messes things up. However, if you mute yourself on Discord, when I talk to you, I will be responding to an old. Like basically, there will be like a 2-second delay. So if you ask me a question, it'll be 2 seconds before I answer it.
I follow. I'm no less confused than before, but I follow, kind of.
But what I mean to say is there's disadvantages to both.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything specifically to show you unless I compile to try the volume out again.
Yeah. It looks like you stripped out some of the layers on that. Did you flatten that at all? Or is this the same as the first pass?
I did flatten it out, and I did I'm halfway done with this one. The normal map got stripped out on the brick, so they look really flat. I'm about to edit. I edited the Yamai version to like flatten out the center part, so it's not so high contrast. And I'm gonna open the Hanako version and do the same really quick.
Oh man, something just occurred to me?
What?
A rock garden, or like the raked sand garden.
Oh yeah, like the little Zen garden.
Yeah, that's the word. And there's like so this is obviously out of scope, but if you were to wow, this is hella delayed. Like I'm just now seeing the video of Substance Painter.
Damn. That is incredibly delayed.
So our conversation will be awkward as if very awkward. So yeah, actually that was kind of it. Sand Garden would be a pretty cool centerpiece. However, I was wondering because you mentioned something about snow piles and being able to kick through them as you run around or something like that. Being a thing that's possible.
It is possible.
It's very expensive though, I assume.
Depending. Yeah, on a multiplayer game, they have these things called render targets that are giant textures that you can assign or you can use a material that essentially is a brush. So imagine you make a material of a circular or of a footstep alpha, and you can write that material to the render target at any time and then use that texture as a mask to so basically you would say this you write a footstep like a boot print to a render target that has a value of like a white value, but you use that as a mask to say this is -10 on the z-axis, and then you displace the ground by that. Or you could just mask in like a footstep layer in the sand that actually changes like the normal map or something like that. But render targets do get expensive fast because you have to write to them, and they just kind of like sit there in memory. But you can do some cool. That's how you do like puddles getting disrupted when players run through water surfaces. Or
but those get to erase whatever changes you make for those, right?
yeah, it has an expiration time, so it's kind of like a fading brush. So you like stamp ripples and then it kind of fades off.
So does it become cheaper because it faded off and you don't have to add up all of the... I mean, you basically don't have to pay for the math to keep track of all of the previous events?
Right. It's only expensive while you're writing to it. Like so like if on the landscape we put like footstep render target, all players and bots will be writing to it all the time. So that one would be expensive because 24 things are writing to it. But I mean, you could also do like client-side decals that just project and have a really short lifetime too.
Yeah, I figured that would be the way to go about it. But can decals have a normal map?
They can now, and they can be fully lit, and they get expensive too because they're not considered for a collision, so they can only distance call. But having like a couple of them isn't that big of a deal. Like that's one of the things in kind of the polish, like art polish, just put dot the T's and I's, whatever, cross the T's, dot the I's portion of the game is like, adding some footsteps um, would be kind of cool. There's some other stuff too, like as players run through mud, it could accumulate on their boots, or like snow accumulating on their boots, depending on. Well, I guess that would just be like wetness. Um, that can be done with render target approach too.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff that you can do with those. Where the hell is this texture at?
Hmm. Oh.
No, there it is.
It also occurs to me that instead of making the volume a blueprint, that the widget could be a blueprint.
WB capture?
Oh, the issue was not being able to get its containing its parent actor. That's what the problem was.
Yep, UMG. You can only get the parent or owner if it's another widget, but you can't get like a component owner.
Yeah.
Which is super annoying. What I don't get is you had it working the 1 week and then it like forgot what team people were at a point and you didn't even change it.
I think that it was. I thought I had it working too, but it might have been a hack that I erased. Let me check Perforce and see if there's some reverts.
What's going on, Zabas? Didn't realize you were in here.
Yo, did you ever fix the debug info on the pickup in the castle?
I think so, but I might not have. I can check that real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember if I actually asked you to.
You did, but I don't remember if I did. Let me open a map and see. Oh yeah, it dynamically spawns it. I did not do anything about it. But I will now. Alright, submitted a quick fix for that.
Did it ever work?
Which thing?
The scroll capture volume? I feel like yeah, we had it working. Or maybe I said it worked, and then I never pushed the thing that made it work. Or...
I don't know, but it does seem like it never properly gets, like, both of them act as if they are your team, or they both act like they're the enemy team.
No, so the thing is, the scroll capture volume is what knows what team it is. But I can't talk to the widget that it holds. I can't tell the widget what team I'm on because I have to push that information to it because it can't reach out and grab it because it can't grab the parent.
Oh yeah, because you can't do the get user widget object cast to WB capture.
Yes.
Which is really stupid.
Yeah, so because I can't do that, it always thinks it's default team 0. So it's not even the logic of if I'm your team say this, if I'm the other team say that. That works perfectly. The which team am I is the part that doesn't work.
In which case it would work after the fix.
Yeah, all I need to do is be able to tell the widget the right owning team. And I think I can get like I can get the widget component to know, but the widget object, I guess, doesn't. But I'll dig around in there for the. And I didn't see anything directly for creating the brush component. What is it called in the brush component? The shape and all that.
Brush shape.
Fairly obvious. Oh, the ground pad's optional. That's good. I think it should probably be turned off in certain places.
Yeah, it looks stupid on top of the tatami mat, so I turned it off inside. It looks really dumb on there.
It's like, why is there cobblestone on a fucking tatami mat? Why do we put these tatami mats under here?
Because video games.
Who brought all these stones and put them on top of the tatami mats? Now you got to make a tatami mat texture. Can it grab the material that it's sitting on?
For what purpose? What thing?
The ground pad. So if it were to grab the material that it's sitting on, and the stones would match the ground texture of whatever location you're in. So, for example, if you were to put it on one of the, so like the cobblestones in the ground pad don't match the cobblestones that are on the tiers of the castle. But if it grabbed the material underneath, wouldn't they then match?
Oh yeah, I just realized this texture would be a way better thing to put for the Hanako one. The Yamai has their own version. Technically yes, I could swap the albedo texture, but it would be maybe better to just turn it off at that point.
I'm just wondering.
Because the tatami mat already kind of gives this a thing. So I mean, you lose the little circle fill up, but I don't think you have to have that all the time.
No, I mean we did fine without it for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just a cool, nice to have thing.
Well, 6 years ago, somebody asked the same question.
Yeah. About the
Oh, it's this drunk on Nexter dude. Wait, did you send me this link before?
probably. Because I did look into it, and they're like, "Oh, you can't blueprint brush components." And there's no.
Because I remember seeing this guy has a 3D pathfinding plugin on UE4.
There it is. There's the texture I was looking for. Alright, back to this really quick. I'm actually going to try... I like that texture. It makes more sense for the theme. Rampart. Ooh, it's not the right thing for this.
What'd you say?
I know, say nothing.
Sound like you say something.
Ooh, that looks cool. I know we didn't want bricks on this, but I think I can fix that part. Let me look at something really quick. Ooh, that's nice too. Texture's not really ever supposed to be that gigantic, but that looks cool. Let me try some different scales.
Yep, I think I might have to go with the collision volume method, but that's going to require you to replace all of the volumes.
That's fine.
Which, well, I was going to circle around. So I think you'll be fine with it.
Yeah, what I've really wanted that to be blueprintable too, because I want to add a particle system to it that has like scroll icons or something going up, like we've done with clan symbols and like the ritual things. Just so I really don't like. I'm gonna try to fix this when I fix the bases. The scrolls sticking out of the volume in Shiga, and you always go to them and be like, "Why the hell didn't it capture?" And you're like, "Bro, the volume's behind it." I just think the scroll should be in the volume so you can't get confused.
Yeah, it definitely should. Like it's, yes, obviously you think it for a second and you're like, "This is confusing as all get out." So it's not gonna work for me.
Yeah, it's the same thing where the blue-red friendly enemy and then the clan color disconnect confusion. Like it's come up enough to where I'm like, yeah, it's inevitable that we need to change that, but I don't know what the easiest, least amount of work thing is for that.
So I think probably the easiest, least amount of work thing is, well, we didn't like any of the gold Hanako, right? Like basically would be to change the Hanako armor color. So you don't necessarily have to change the entire flag, like the clan. Well, okay. If you do change the armor color because red should be the bad guy, yeah, I think you can still leave the clan colors as far as like the village and the art in the maps to be whatever color they are. If like red is a secondary color, for example. So if you were to change the color of Hanako from red to, I don't know, blue, for example, then blue and green, well, that'll be a problem.
Yeah, people would think blue. It can't be blue, green, or red, basically.
Yeah.
Because those are all like obvious friendly enemy associations, which I guess if Yamai stays green, I wish I stuck to my guns of doing violet, silver, and black as their color scheme. That was the one I personally preferred the most for them, like way back. Remember when I did all the color schemes and we voted?
Yeah, I mean, but you still have the problem of what color to make the Hanako.
Yep.
Like would a palette swap what all would it break? So I don't think the green has to go away, by the way, in order to accommodate the color issue that we have.
I don't think so either necessarily. Like I think Hanako changing makes the most sense to me too. Like like it's not a big deal to go in and grab the red parts of the textures on the characters. Like the ninja doesn't have any Hanako colors anyway because he was made to be neutral. He needs retextured to fit the colors anyway because the Yamai and Hanako one are confusing. It's really just the three others. and they're already set up in Substance Painter. I can literally come in here and just change the color on that layer, and it's done. And re-export. It's pretty easy. It's just deciding what it should be. And the side effect is if the banners and the flags and all the shit in the map needs to change.
So I think the more I think about it, that's actually the problem. So the problem is like accents and highlights and where you read stuff. The armor color is actually not a problem because of the outline. Like you can tell who your enemy is, but when you're trying to represent the clans in a HUD fashion, like the score and all of that, that's when it gets confusing. So if you, instead of using red for all like the Hanako associated stuff, if we use gold in the HUD for Hanako stuff instead of the red, would that still be a problem?
Ooh, that's a good option, because then there's not a red symbol that you assume is enemy. It's a gold symbol that has nothing to do with either. Then you just look for the outlines. You look for red and blue, which we are using a lot. I think that solves the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the very least, it's well, one, we should talk to Connor about it, but two, I think it might be an option for, at the very least, is it something that we could do? Well, no, let's not rush it in. So we should talk about it tomorrow in the meeting, and then maybe next week. Well, at the end of this week, we'll start a new sprint anyway. So a pass or a check, just a one-off test to see how that works, how it reads. Yeah, bringing it. So I would talk to Connor about it and see if he had thoughts, because he might just say that the armor itself, even though you highlight the gold for the HUD elements, being the UI designer and all that, okay, actually, let's look here. So nothing on this map. So the red that's part of the architecture is not necessarily the enemy red. Yeah, I think it's just
like when I redid these curtain walls, I've very purposely made the red more pink, and the symbol is gold stamped. So we have established the symbol is gold in this stuff. For the trims where it's like red wood, that's only really two textures that need updated for all that stuff. So it wouldn't be hard to replace, really. The UI is where all the colors are in the like it's not the texture itself is red, it's the tint in the brush in UMG that's red. So that would be like going through widget by widget where there's symbols and changing it to 1.60, which isn't a big deal either.
Well, okay. Is there any way to change that to a variable that's global?
I can think of one way, but it's weird and cumbersome. God, how would you do that?
If not, then
not easily.
Okay, then it's
unless you actually I can't think of a way. If you declared a constant in like Hanako types.h and made it a pure that's callable anywhere, and it just outputs the Hanako gold, in that case I could.
And then, that's the right way to go about it.
It would just be like get clan colors and it outputs Hanako Yamai, and then I just set tint from brush, or set tint in the constructor of the widget. There still would be like finding nodes where I am setting the color and that overrides like the default, and it'd be some tedium, but I don't think it would be that bad. Like the objective HUD, the scoreboard, which I think some of this stuff still has the Hanako symbol, that's that generic flower mon before we even had our like custom one. So it still needs some replacing anyway.
Gotcha.
Like you'll see this on stream in like whatever 10 seconds, but the symbol on the tent is the old one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw you were over by the tents on stream earlier. It might also, let's run with that idea of making Hanako representation gold. So like filling up the circle, all of that.
Yeah, let me take a look at the scoreboard really quick. Because I think there's a bunch of red headers for Hanako in places too, which is confusing.
I mean, and finding all of these things, Connor will probably end up running across at some point.
I don't think anyone's ever complained one time about not knowing which players are so are so featured so prominently that I don't know that the scoreboard even needs to change, other than if the symbol needs to be gold there, and that's still the old symbol on that menu.
Well, I think all of the screens are going to get a pass, a UX pass.
I also wouldn't be opposed. While I have Substance open, let me show you something.
Ooh, I do have a question about color contrast against the gold, though. White text on gold. Because white text on green is fine. White text on gold is probably not.
Nope.
And
we don't want to have to do like black text in some places and white in others, depending on the team.
Right. But we get luckily we have an expert. Oh, did you ever create a story for him for creating stories?
I have not created a story of stories.
You didn't do the story. Also, I'm contemplating something that might be annoying, and that's renaming the scroll capture volume to scroll capture zone, because that word is better. And it won't be a physics volume anymore. So it's happening. And it will match the buff and control zones in being named zone and not actually being a volume. All right, good talk. I love it when you solve my problems for me.
Yeah.
Question for you. Is there any reason to make the scroll capture zone a skeletal mesh actor?
The which one? Say that again.
The capture zone. So the control zones are actually skeletal mesh actors.
Okay. The flag really it doesn't do anything skeletal. It could be a static mesh just as easily. It doesn't do anything. I think we did that in case we wanted some animated thing. Destructible has to be, and also if you look at stream, I accidentally made this armor white, and it's fucking dope.
Yes, I did see it flicker back and forth.
It would totally break desaturation, but it looks cool. I was doing this because I wanted to show you what I was thinking potentially for the Nagi. Let me go ahead and do that real quick.
He looks like a straight up ninja with the all, like, he makes me think of the one guy from G.I. Joe, the bad guy.
I don't remember the name.
I think his name was Shadow Snake. Anyway, not important. But yeah, the all white is dope. And so, okay, yeah, so the other thing is switching the colors to gold and green, and not messing with the armor, because if we do customizations and color customization is an option, then the armor will end up changing eventually anyway. And if the only way that you can tell the difference is purely through the armor, then hey, that's cool.
So if Hanako just went like primary gold, it could be something like this, and also.
That's not a bold. That doesn't feel like a bold color.
But let me see. Let me look at some of these other options.
I mean, we could also change the palette, period, like across the board. but
Look
colors
how
mean
look
things.
how easy carbon fiber was. It looks so cool.
Yeah, you did mention that earlier. All right, so for me, he's just now turning gold, and you turned him around and zoomed out and zoomed in, and it is a bit more bold because I was first looking at just the yellow,
Oh yeah, no, I
and
just set it up to get like the right like Hanako needs like this cartoony yellow, not like an accurate gold. You have to go way more saturated for it to look right.
hmm. Okay, and now there's the carbon fiber, but how do you set the size of the squares? They need to drop.
Yeah,
Just,
it's gonna change in a second on stream.
I mean, I'm personally a fan of all black armor, but that's because I like all black armor. I kind of want to see what this powder blue looks like, though. You can't use that.
It looks good. Just keep waiting. I'm just going through like the color wheel with this like polished sheen. I feel like Yamai, if we did ever take Yamai to Violet, would be something like this Violet that I'm gonna circle around the character when it gets to it. Isn't it nice that this Substance project is basically set up as like an armor customization tool?
Yeah, it feels like something that should be easily. Oh,
Black gloss armor looks dope too.
yeah,
With
man. Black lacquered armor is fucking dank. Like all the dark colors in lacquer are just fire.
like the black
Uh,
on gold that you're about to see is probably my favorite one out of all of them, even though like it makes no sense for Hanako. I did kind of a slight off-white so you can see the gloss. That looks kind of cool too. The good thing about if we were to do like a white armor, it's never fully white, but also the damage would like the accumulated damage would stand out way more.
yeah.
Because that really has more to do with it than
Oh my god, this black and gold is so good.
I know, isn't it?
Like, obviously, that has to be one of the custom armors.
Like it instantly makes the whole character look so much cooler. Alright, let's try this shit on the Kenshi right quick. We're playing dress up instead of doing our task, but you know,
Like, wait, what was I doing again?
sometimes you gotta do it.
I mean,
It's
it's
an important decision so our players aren't confused. Leave us alone.
yep, and it's also work-life balance since this is the work life at the same time.
Yeah.
Gotta have some fun. Yo, is there a sky sphere implied in Substance Painter?
Yes, and there's a whole bunch of different lighting like spheres that you can pick.
Okay, because I'm seeing the reflection of clouds, I think, in these thigh plates.
Yeah, you pick like what the reflection environment is.
I would definitely have scantily clad women as my reflection environment. So it's just like, Silver, let's look at this for a while.
Yeah, in the game, it's just the reflection environment from the world.
Right. I meant in Substance Painter. I can't wait for elite armor that has like the light wings and
Oh, I know.
you're my armor that cracks and has glows coming out of it. It's gonna be a fun pen for those decals. I'm guessing that's how that's done.
Which parts?
So you know how the Soul of the Samurai has that flame on the weapon?
Yes.
So if on the shoulder pads for the Kenshi, the vertical pieces, if they had like little flames or shadow wings or something growing out of them, if you got, like top tier armor, that would be pretty
Oh,
dope.
it would. Passive effects generally increase your character cost pretty significantly, but you would just give them aggressive LODs to where you only see like the smoke or whatever, or the wings like really up close.
Which is still potentially expensive in this game.
Yep. Okay, so the Daimyo skin turned into the default Kenshi, so I can still play with armor colors. Doing gold on gold would look weird because the symbols are stamped, but maybe not. This white on gold for the Kenshi looks pretty dope for Hanako. For some reason, black isn't working for this.
So, why does he not have a head in substance paint?
Because it's a separate material.
Mm-hmm. What shape do you want the capture volume to be? Square still?
Yeah.
And I'm going to add... Wait, do I have zone border already? I assume we want a zone border.
Is that like the particle effect?
Particle system. Yeah, I'm putting one in here anyway, so
okay.
It's happening.
Yes.
In fact, I thought you specifically said that's what you wanted, so...
Yep, if you didn't add one, I was going to add one.
You know, it's funny. This scroll capture volume has the blueprintable property and doesn't work.
Oh. Well, that's great.
Well, I mean, it just means that it can be blueprinted, but the reason it can't is unrelated to the thing.
The shiny black armor and gold just looks so good.
Oh, I was totally looking away for a while, but it's just now on the shiny black. So this gold with the armor stamped in black is interesting. These oranges that you're going through kind of make me think of like
there we go.
Old school 90s, early 2000s strategy game colors.
Yeah, they do.
It might be here. I'm just gonna drop in Triforce. Question about armor color. Wait, are we doing? No, we want to ask about the gold thing. It'll be easier to ask in the meeting.
Yeah, anyway, the Kenshi isn't as flexible as the Naginata was, but I set up the Nagi to be very easy to manipulate in substance. I really thought ahead on that character.
That salmon color that you switched to is the worst, and it looks like he was wrapped in sushi.
It's awful. I'm glad that it's gone forever now.
But this really dark blue that happened was pretty cool. But it's not one of the colors.
Yeah. Damn you, friendly enemy expectations.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that you have to. Well, it's really the messed part is it's just the red that's the problem.
Pretty much, yeah. Greg would be really happy that we got rid of red-green.
Yeah.
Dude, some of these are cool.
You set the shape of a particle system component in the particle system component, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I have to get it to line up, but it's just kind of a known issue.
All right. Wait, what was I looking for? Scroll capture volume needs a U sphere component. No. What's the name of the component? Is it U box component or U cube component?
I believe it's It's called box collision in Unreal in the editor. I'm assuming that's U box collision. You're
Yeah.
getting rid of the brush component, right?
I'm switching. So it's got the brush component because it's a physics volume. So I'm making it not a physics volume and adding a collision component.
Okay.
I think it's box component because it's capsule, sphere, and box. You know, copy paste is such a fucking game changer. Do you imagine if you had to type everything every time?
It'd be the absolute worst.
I would not do this.
At some point, there was an operating system that didn't have copy paste.
I mean, I guess if that's all you know, then sure. But and also, back in the day, you had to get the Guam. Like 30 Guam, bro. I'm at 45 Guam. Do you remember gross words per minute?
Yep.
Gross words a minute. That's what it was.
The little you gotta type to make the bear across the screen or whatever.
Shit.